का हाँ तेरी याद यादों का तेरी याद में नहीं हाँ तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में नहीं हाँ तेरी याद 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 तेरी याद
Yo, what is up? This is the Hesi podcast, episode number 4. 4 of them things. It's your boy Sterls. I got my dog Russ.
You already know what it is.
What's good with you, bruh?
Man, you already know nothing much. Chilling. Ready to get into, quick, I guess you call it quick takes about, what's been going on, college, a couple of things in the NFL, NBA, but you're going to give them a rundown and we can let them know.
Yeah, we got a jam-packed show tonight, man. Udoka and LeBron. We're going to talk about that. Talk about some young talent in the league. Young cats balling out in the NBA. Of course, we're going to talk about the in-season tourney, Tyrese Halliburton putting that thing on Boston Celtics. Then we'll pivot in the show. We'll talk about college football, CFP rankings, and the drama of leaving FSU out, and who we think might win the title. We'll talk about. I definitely want to throw in some transfer portal stuff. Because there's a lot going on.
I saw the transfers from my side, a couple of them are the main one. You know what I'm saying? It was one of them is I'm a miss, one of them I'm a miss, and one of them I'm kind of like go do your thing, and you might be surprised on which one that is.
Okay, all right, we'll get into that, and then we'll pivot to the NFL. We'll talk about are the 49ers the best team in the league? Roger Goodell in the No Fun League wants to ban the brotherly shove, right? And then we got a little old head talking in the end. So we got a little jam-packed show for you. So it's Wednesday night, man. The Bills coming off a bye week, so I ain't got nothing to bitch about in terms of the NFL. So I'm good on that. But my dog Russ gonna be with me next week on my NFL stuff, on my shows for Buffalo Rumblings and all the things I do. We're going to talk some Bills Cowboys, but that's going to be next week. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to put on that. Yeah, I'm going to put my dog on. He going to kill it as always. But let's jump into this. So a couple days ago, Ime Udoka, coach for the Houston Rockets, got into it with LeBron James. Got into it, basically calling that man a bitch.
We called the whole Lakers team bitches.
Yeah. He did.
Plural, it is bitches.
And, LeBron took the high road, basically like, yo, you ain't got to do all that's extra, in so many words. He took the high road. But, was he in the wrong for basically calling LeBron James out like that, saying the whole team was bitches? Like, as a head coach, like, don't you want the posture of your head coach to be different? Or is he taking the Houston ideology of because Houston, them dudes down there, they about it like that? What is it? Which one is it?
No, I think that's one of them situations where like LeBron's one of them dudes where he's got the trigger word or whatever that he just don't like the word. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, Udoka's like, I'm a man too, and that's how I talk down here. So like, what you want to do? I think that's why he said. That's why it was like you walking up like you want to do something.
Like you want to
like
do
I'm,
something.
I'm talking. Basically, to me, it was him saying, "Look, I'm talking shit, but if you want to take it there, you know what I'm saying, we can take it there." Because I do think there's like a realm. There's like a realm when you're in any type of like sport that things sometimes can get taken out of control. But for the most part, as people are talking shit, you can pretty much realize as long as certain lines aren't crossed, and he didn't cross the line of. To me, what I saw in all the videos and lip syncing or whatever, lip reading that they did, he didn't look and say, you, sir, numbers 23, number 6, the guy that played for Cleveland, hey, the kid from Akron, you a bitch. He didn't say that. He didn't say like, you a bitch. Like, he said, y'all some bitches. Like, y'all wearing the other jersey. You crying for fouls. Y'all some bitches. Like, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Now, do I enjoy the back and forth as a fan? Hell yeah, that shit was funny as hell. And I think at that moment in time, like to both of them, I mean, in my eyes, ain't y'all, which y'all not finna box. Like you're not finna box. Like it's not worth the pocketbook. It's not worth any of that. So to me, it's just some silly shit. But I think that some people need to just accept the fact that in the realm of playing a sport, as long as someone's not directing some derogatory shit like directly at you, your family, like what KG did to Carmelo, that's fight worthy. You know what I'm saying? Saying shit like that, that's fight worthy. You know what I'm saying? That's directed directly at you in a personal manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's, and Melo was trying to fight him after the game and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like what Draymond did, that in the finals, they got him suspended. That's fight worthy. You know what I'm saying? Even though LeBron did something that was agitated when he stepped over him. You know what I'm saying? But if a guy steps over you and you look at him and say, hey, man, you being a bitch, that's, y'all probably gonna squab.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man, because I feel like LeBron ain't never been that dude like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't never been the dude that like is gonna get in your face and gonna speak his shit. Like he, you know, in so many words, it feels like he takes the high road. He lets his play do the talking. You hear players talk about his teammates say that he's like always, you know, fun in the locker room and stuff like that. So that, you know, he ain't never been a nigga like that.
Yeah, I think he's just standing on like you know, I just don't like people talking to me a certain way. And I think in the realm of sport, like it's two different places. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're out and about and some shit happens at like a restaurant, or you're like in the park or at the mall or something like the grocery store, like it's a different interaction. Like you say, LeBron and other basketball players to that point, they take the high road because they have to. Like they have no choice. What am I gonna do if I come out here and like go crazy, win or lose, beat your ass or not? If I go crazy, I'm gonna lose a lot of money. Excuse me. They're gonna sit me out some games, and it's not gonna profit me in the long run. It's just gonna get me some laughter and likes on Twitter. Because the Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, they're not doing too good right now. Correct? If I'm not mistaken,
Correct.
they're still not. Correct. They're not doing too good, right? But they got a lot of laughs and clicks when they choked out somebody. Correct?
Yeah.
And that team that they choked out is doing better than them. Correct?
Yeah.
It's not really worth it to fight on the floor. Never really worth it. At least not in this day and age. Back in the day when it was legal, then that was different. When before they started punishing you for that, like that's different. But nowadays, it's not even worth it. Like it's really not worth it to fight. Like,
it is. It is though, because you play 82 games, bro. Gonna suspend me for 5 because I'm gonna hit somebody like just once. I mean, in my career, I need to like lay somebody out. You know what I'm saying?
Here's my thought about that. Like I see your point, but to me, when you said I'm just gonna get 5 games, you don't know what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because they can
Draymond got 5. He nigga choked him out.
Man, shit, and yeah, because they probably was scared he would come to the office like Ice Cube did, and straight out of Compton with a baseball bat. Like, you better reduce this motherfucker. You're gonna be looking like Rudy. Like, so it's like Draymond strikes fear into everybody. Like I'm just like everybody in the NBA front office. Draymond is Debo. They just want to keep him from going too crazy. So like his 5 games, and plus, I'm gonna be honest, that whole situation, people liked what he did, and honestly, I think it made Rudy a better person.
So last point on this. So LeBron James is the king of the NBA, has been for the last 20 years. And LeBron James is one of the most influential men in the world, one of the richest men in the world. I don't know if you believe in the Illuminati and all that crazy shit, but LeBron can have that man touched. LeBron can have that man touched if you want to. So I just feel like
that's a whole nother thing. But yeah,
but we, you know, that's one of the things we need to bridge that gap at some point, because I got some stuff on it. I'm just saying.
Hey man, we can have a discussion, because I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, but I believe that conspiracy exists in theory.
Yeah, it does. It's real, but
it's a real thing.
But it just speaks to LeBron James' power in the league. Like you know, like I just think, I mean, I don't expect the players and the coaches to respect LeBron James like that. But at some point, though, man, it's like I just felt like it was a little too much. It was a little too much. He didn't have to do all that. Considering him and Nia Long and what he's been going, like, nigga, shut up.
Yeah, I think that's what the reaction from Udoka was. It was kind of like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, is this what we gonna do? And LeBron was like, I don't want to talk like that. So it's kind of like one of those, oh man, you trying to assert your dominance to me as being LeBron James, trying to basically tell me shut the fuck up. And I'm over here like, nah, like that's what LeBron did. That's the LeBron voice.
I just wanted LeBron walk up to him and like, see what happens then. That's what I don't know, man. That's what I would have did.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, motherfucker 6'8", 260, probably gonna flinch.
I know, right? And then that would have been a whole meme in and of itself.
There's not too many people that's
LeBron took the high road. He took the high road as always. So it is what it is. All right. So, man, the NBA has been like, I don't know if you remember this, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, where there was a feeling, before Luka got into the league. Okay. The NBA was kind of down. Ratings were down. The game itself was just, it needed like it needed some like fresh blood.
Fresh blood, fresh talent,
right? And since then, it's been a renaissance of like young, fresh talent in the NBA.
We could be honest. You know what it was. We all could say what it was, and that's why KD's hated. That's what it was.
KD left.
He went to the Warriors.
Yeah,
that kind of made basketball flat soda. No offense to him.
No, you're right.
In the game, I will say this before I say, like, if anytime I bring him up, like I always say, in the game of war, which this basketball is, like, you got to make the best moves to make yourself successful. And he just made a move that nobody could fuck with, and so a lot of people were mad about it. But with that being said, and with the point you were making, it did make basketball stale. One, because you knew the Warriors were going to win. You had James Harden doing amazing shit, but nobody really cared because it didn't really mean anything because he couldn't beat the Warriors. Right. And then you had LeBron on the other side, who self-admittedly was like, well, shit, I don't even want to think about playing them right now. Then they had to get taken out by an injury. So I think that was, we did enjoy seeing Kawhi win, but we also had to endure Kawhi winning with KD and Clay messing up one Achilles and one, like, what is it, ACL, MCL, knee, and all that. So you're right. It got stale, and I think it was just because that whole situation kind of was like a point in time where it's just like, oh yeah, when we get older, it's like, oh yeah, older and older. It's like, yeah, that did happen, but it wasn't the best time in the league. It was just a time that we had to deal with, and then as that subsided. And like you say, and some other guys I'll get into, because I do think we can not talk too long, but at least give shout outs, because the one we're going to talk about, I think there's a couple of other guys under the age of 25. Because we already know about Tatum, you know what I'm saying? So right. Guys under the age of 25 that deserve some love. But you're totally right. I just think that move, now we're past it too. So It's a breath of fresh air. And let's not, and you know what? Let's not just hold KD, because before that it was Bron. So, going to Miami. So, like, we had endured a a decade-long process of dealing with the same teams, building power teams, and the same kind of NBA. So it was boring at a point. We wanted some parity. We wanted some games that you could look at and just say, I'm going to watch a basketball game without knowing who's going to win, and I'm just watching it to see somebody get shook a couple times and see what the other team can do. And that's what this young group of kids is doing, along with some of the other things that the NBA is doing. But yeah, it's lit a fire.
So we're going to talk about some young stars, but real quick, this just came in. Caitlin Clark is the first player in Division I history for women's to score 3,000 points, 750 rebounds, and 750 assists. So shout out to Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa. Yeah, she be balling. She be balling. She be balling. Love watching her. So young talent in the league, right? So you got Alperen Sengun. Well, he's not a rookie, but he's a big man.
He is 21.
He is 21, but since he's been in the league for a couple of years, he's an ascending talent. And I think he's one of the reasons why you see a resurgence, if you will, in Houston. A lot gets talked about with the Oklahoma City Thunder and how they construct their team, how they draft. But I think we don't give enough credit to the Houston Rockets and what they've been able to do with the young talent on their team. So Alperen Sengun, big man, love his game. He's this year, he's kind of developed a little touch in the post. The nigga only got like 3 post moves, but hey, they work.
and his basketball IQ is through the roof, and his willingness to pass and his ability. Let me not just say willingness, but his ability to pass as well as is gaining a lot of attention, especially people that watch Western Conference basketball and watch NBA as a whole.
So, December 18th. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I got 2 tickets to the Mavs and the Nuggets. You want to go? If you can you get to Denver?
Hell yeah.
If you can get to Denver, I got an extra ticket, bro. You come watch the Mavs, bro, in Denver. You think about that and let me know. But anyway, you think about that. We'll talk offline. We got,
we gonna talk about that because that's gonna get wild.
I got 2 tickets. Movie. I thought the first person I'm gonna ask is Russ see if he wants to go.
Got 2 tickets to paradise. I'm in that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, but here's what when you look at like rookies in the league right now, like everybody knows Victor Wembanyama, 18 points, 11 rebounds. But you know who's ranked number 2 to me?
Who?
Asar Thompson. This dude, from a defensive standpoint, he's locks. That dude locks people up, man. He's 14 points, 12 rebounds. My man's averaging a double-double. 53% from the field. Come on now. You got to show him some love, bro.
That's he does deserve a lot of love. He does. Now you got what you're saying that they have to just be rookies, because I was like, another guy that needs love is Paulo. He's a second-year player, but
dude, he's nasty, bro.
I believe that the Orlando Magic are actually winning games. I want to say they're top 5 in the East.
Maybe. Yeah, and you know who he's doing it with? Franz Wagner, University of Michigan. Them 2 dudes, bro, they are good, man. They are lethal.
Yeah,
bro.
the third. Yes, they're third in the East. Now, I'm not going to get into, well, hey, you think they could beat the Bucks or Celtics? I'm not going to get into that. I'm just saying, with us looking at the young talent, I want to give Paulo a shout out, because one thing that is often overlooked in the league when it comes to being a young talent is winning games. They just look at your young talent to see if you're progressing. And not only is the young man progressing, his team is third. And I know that other people on the team may be playing better. There may, what I'm saying, that there are other people may be doing a little bit more. But the fact of the matter is, you put him on the team, he's hooping, and I believe he's averaging about 19 a game. So, I want to give a big shout out to him, because he's actually doing what you're. And the next guy I want to actually talk about, even though he's another second or third year player, is another guy whose team is winning. But after Paulo, or before Paulo, I should have named it, but he came after, is Anthony Edwards, because he's also doing work. The Minnesota Timberwolves, after getting choked out, they're winning games. I want to say they're third in the. Are they?
Yeah,
third in the West too as well. I believe
the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. Aren't they in like a 4-game win streak or something like that?
I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy about Anthony Edwards? It feels like he's been in the league forever. You know what I mean? Like
it does.
He's so good, and
they're in first. I'm sorry, they're in first. Yes, a part of me was thinking yes, but they're in first.
Yeah, you think of him as like a top 10 player. Like he's elite. Like the dude, you talk about improving your game every year. He's done that. He's good, man. That boy can play. He could play. And he got punk ass Rudy Gobert on his team too.
And he does. And even though, and you know what, we named him, but I was looking. I knew they was in the top like 10 or at least 6 or 7, but I did not know they were number 2. Another shout out to the Thunder with Chet in the gang, and Shy. Okay, it's really Shy Glizzy in the gang, but they're number 2 in the West. So that's another young player that's team is actually developing some wins. And Keegan Murray is the perfect cog for the Kings, but we knew that last year.
Tyrese Halliburton.
I was gonna say we can get. I wanted to get into him segueing
when we get into in-season tournament.
When we get that what he said before he started doing this means a lot, and I think it needs to be highlighted. But Tyrese Maxey's another youngin that I really like. I'm really liking right now. Scotty Barnes. And we have Luka, of course.
What about Jaime Jaquez, Miami Heat?
You know, someone named Jaime Jaquez, and I said it's amazing when a player is able to go from college to the pros and do the same exact thing, so that his game doesn't have to take any drastic turn. Just like you do what you did at UCLA, and just keep doing that, and just get better at that. And he's doing just that. So I think he's carved himself out a nice spot.
You know
in the
who his
league.
game reminds me of?
I said he's the perfect
Much more athletic Adam Morrison.
Less tall, more athletic,
but they play the same kind of ball. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same. It's simple. It's the same simple game. It's the same simple game. So I can see that.
Adam Morrison Gonzaga, not Adam Morrison in the NBA because he was trash.
No. I know exactly.
Yeah.
I think anybody that watched college football, college basketball in that time frame, I think anybody would have been like, oh yeah, we're never thinking of him with the Lakers. It's only him with Gonzaga.
Yeah, right.
Player of the year.
Jordan drafted and didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. But
the team.
We say all that to say, man, there's just, the NBA will not be stale. I think they got the right pieces in place in terms of upper management leading the league. We just got a lot of young talent, and it's fun, man. It's fun for the kids too. Like the kids now have, you don't have to just like LeBron and Jason Tatum and Luka. You can like all kinds of young talent.
It's like when we were kids.
Yeah, man.
Even though ultimately Jordan was going to win, you could like other like there was Grandmama, Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Sean Kemp. Like there was other likable players. The other players didn't just become nameless gray faces or just empty buckets. Like Dame, love him to death, but everything he did was him, Harden. It was just overshadowed by just teams that were just way too good up against their competition. So I like to see it. And of course, you got Luka and the gun toter John Morant. But let's what's next? What's next on deck?
So in-season tourney. The in-season tourney.
All right, can I gloat for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, because you were witness last week. You said, Russ, you know what I'm saying? What you think gonna happen in the NCAA tournament? I said I think we're looking for some Zion versus LeBron, and I think we got Zion versus LeBron. BI versus AD. I call this game the trade bait game. You know what I'm saying? And along with this, piggybacking on the last topic, we got Zion, which is another player under 21 that when healthy. Okay, now tell me, you can correct me if I'm wrong or say like Russ, you're overdoing it. When healthy, Zion Williamson is the most, like, how can I say this? He flips the game in his team's favor more so than any other young player when he's healthy, because there's nothing at all that you can do with him. And I even watch a lot of Luka, but like, it seems to me that when Zion Williamson is healthy, anybody that plays them it's like ice skating uphill. It's one of the most hardest things to accomplish, because you have skill guys around a guy that you don't need to run plays for. He's bigger than everybody else. He just takes the ball from people and lays it up. And if you give him an ounce of space, he will dunk it on anybody. So it's like,
yeah, you're not wrong on that.
And
Zion's a force when his head's together.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what I think I'm liking about the in-season tournament. And I know a lot of people, we saw the game last night, and the refs blew a call at the end of the game, but we do get to see how some players turn up in playoff tournament situations more so than others, just because the heightened atmosphere and how much games mean. And the in-season tournament success is that it has brought that to us before Christmas. And now at Christmas, when used to be you didn't watch NBA that much until Christmas. And after Christmas, you really start watching. Now we have pretty much, this has been like a preseason. This has been like a preseason with a preseason tournament. And now everything that goes on from here out is going to be even more intense. I don't even like to call it preseason, because that makes it, piggyback on the people that say it doesn't matter. But I'll say it was a good precursor to the second half of the season. It's given us something, like, and these young players that are going to get to play in it, like Zion and like Halliburton, who, again, we can get into him in a second, but them getting to play in it and show that, like, we do have that extra level of energy. It's pretty interesting to see, especially the fact that you never see this in November and early December in the NBA, in October and things.
No, you're right. But the work that Adam Silver has done making this league watchable, even though you have 82 games in the regular season, like he's added like excitement to the NBA regular season with this in-season tourney. Like, dude, it's a hit. They I don't know how the NBA does it, but they find a way to knock it out of the park every single time.
You know how? You know how? Because there's like two types of people, bro. Or I guess you could say three. There's ones that don't do anything at all, leave it the way it is, because one of the sayings I hate the most
NFL.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there's people like that. Then there's ones that will just do a quick change and not really think about it, and it'll fail. And then they'll just be like, well, just go back to the way it was. And that's just a lazy way of thinking. And then there's Adam Silver and the way that he thinks. And that's like, we're going to find a way to make it work. The easy way would have been, no, we're just going to keep it the way it is. And y'all enjoy the fact that you get to watch people play basketball. And then, or they could have just been like, all right, we can just get rid of the games, and make them play less games. Adam Silver said, okay, let's not just do the hasty things. They pay us a bunch of money because we're supposed to be smarter than everybody else at this. And they sat down and thought about it. And they said, how can we make all 82 games interesting? And they looked over across the pond and they said, those tournaments seem to get those people over there going pretty crazy. Let's see what happens over here. And the thing about Americans is we talk shit. All of us through and through, we talk shit. You could say, hey, Russell, Sterling, and 10 other Americans, there's free pizza down the street, and there's going to be at least like 6 people that are going to say, man, fuck that pizza. It's probably dry with no sauce. You know what I'm saying? And then after everybody gets the pizza, they're going to be like, man, this pizza was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, but that's just the nature. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of human beings, especially ones over here. So I think Adam Silver just looked. He saw something that worked over there. He brought it over here, and I think it's just something that like I said, it brings in parity. A regular Tuesday night game meant something this year.
Yeah,
and it meant a lot.
So
can I say this real quick? My bad. Yeah. I want to voice this real quick. To those that didn't like the courts, there are some of us that like the courts.
So dope. They're so dope.
And so I would like to say to those that are voicing their opinions against the courts, I am on the opposite side. I like the courts. Now, was every court perfect? No. But
who had the dopest court though? You know who had the dopest court?
Who?
The Kings, man. The Kings court was dope.
I'm not gonna lie.
That shit was hard.
I'm not gonna lie. I like the Pacers wild ass court. I like that wild ass shit.
Dope too.
I think that, and let me say this to the NBA and to the people that are watching, they don't have to be the same courts next year, but let's just start a tradition, you know what I'm saying, of the NBA in-season tournament having the most extravagant, exuberant, crazy courts that we can ever see, and have them be where the NBA players play. And I think that that's just something that we should do. Now, I do think if it is paint or something like that, y'all got to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all got to handle that. But I think I'm
glad that you mentioned that, because that's just another like touch of stroke of genius that Adam Silver and the guys and gals in the NBA office coming up with these ideas that make the game more appealing. I mean, you do that to the court, the kids love it, right? Like NBA heads like us who are in the culture and fashion love it. Like, how can you hate it? Like, it's smart, man. It's so smart to do it like
it's eye popping. If you're walking next to a bar, or you're walking somewhere and you see that on TV, you're gonna stop and look. Like,
oh, yo, what is that?
What is that? Remember when they first introduced City Edition jerseys? Oh, people are stupid. That's stupid. Now it's a part like it's like, let me see the City jerseys and let me see the dope ass courts. If you haven't noticed too, it's also become a part of our culture to look at the City jerseys and go, and then when we see them on the players, go, it's pretty clean.
Yeah.
All right. We can move on. Okay, we can move on.
Okay, but before we go to college football. Tyrese Halliburton, man. Like,
oh my bad.
Against the Celtics, he balled out.
Talk about against Tyrese. Everybody. I'll just say this, because I know we gotta keep it moving. Tyrese Halliburton, before this thing even started, they asked him about like why he was hooping so hard or what it was like him doing so good, and he just said, "I'm tired of losing. Don't want to be a loser." And he said something along the lines of this tournament gives me an opportunity to not be a loser and to play for something earlier that may not be obtainable. And I'm paraphrasing heavily.
Yeah, right. Which is amazing. It's amazing. But he said he knows what the Pacers are.
He said that before he went on this run. And so it's kind of like that's another good reason for the tournament. But to just shout out to him. And I think I want to give, if I was to rank the shout outs that each of these guys get, he gets the top. Anthony Edwards is probably number 2. But after this performance, he's catapulted himself. As far as the young players are concerned, he's number 1 right now for me. And that
he had his first NBA triple-double, by the way.
Yeah. And that may change. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the season, people may look at me and say, Russell, Anthony Edwards actually did something in the real playoff. And I'm going to say, yeah, that's why, you know what I'm saying, we can move things around as we need to go.
Right.
But as of right now, I will say that as far as these young players are concerned, give me Tyrese right now because he understood the assignment. Zion does too, but I think this is more about BI. And looking LeBron in the eye and saying, you needed me.
Brandon Ingram was balling, bro.
He's on a tear. He's on a tear, and Hoopin' Wiz Khalifa is doing his thing.
You notice that he's added, I mean, he's kind of made some tweaks to his fadeaway jumper. You notice that this year?
He's overall, it's like he's not trying to be more than what he is and accepting the smooth game that he has and saying, okay, if I play best at this slower, you know, he's honestly like a lanky Luka in the way that he's not going to move crazy fast across the court. And he's learning, and he's not going to do a lot of jittery like BS, but he's very what's the term? He's very precise and to the point.
Right.
He gets to the point. He gets his bucket. And like you said, he tweaked his jumpers. Like that's the precise point. So I just like his game. I hope he keeps it smooth and just keep being him.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
He's so good.
Yeah, I think also he finally just let go of the whole, and not that he was holding on to it, but I think it finally. I won't say he let go of it. I think we as fans let go of the whole baby KD bullshit.
Yeah,
I think people stopped like trying to make him something that he wasn't. And now we're accepting the fact that he just silky smooth BI. You know what I'm saying? That's just what he is. You know what I'm saying? He just yeah.
All right. So moving on to the to college football here. As we're on the back half of the show tonight.
Man.
College football playoff rankings, bro.
That clip. Alabama fans.
Okay. You're not gonna do this. Listen, you think Michigan is afraid of Alabama?
No. So you haven't. I haven't. Okay, so I didn't. So the clip last week when I was talking about Alabama doesn't deserve to go if they lose.
Okay,
remember? Okay, so I made that into a clip, right? Alabama fans have found me.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And first of all, I want to say, fuck you all. I do not give a fuck about you or your fucking elephant. Boomer Sooner for life. Even though we've lost to y'all beating everybody, y'all the dynasty. I'm not going to sit here and jinx Michigan. I'm not going to sit here and jinx Alabama. I'm not going to sit here and jinx. No, I hope Alabama loses everything in life of all time.
Oh, hold on. Before you continue, what did they say to you?
No, it's just continuous. Like, we made it, and they know why they're doing it because they are college football's darlings. I will say you're going to say fuck you to this too. But while I'm sitting up here doing my rant, y'all in Texas are also two of the highest grossing schools in. And if you just follow the money, you can see why Florida State got the boot. But we'll talk about how Florida State got completely bent the fuck over in this whole scenario and why I think that it's so fucked up. And the fact that they did it for Alabama makes it so much motherfucking worse. But yeah, I have no idea what link means. They keep saying link. In my call, I have no idea what the fuck that shit means. But it's from Alabama, so who the fuck cares? Only time we're gonna care about you guys and about what? In about 2 or 3 weeks, no one's gonna give a fuck about Tuscaloosa or what y'all got going on because you're Tuscaloosa, Alabama. God, but yeah. But anyways, they made it, and I've told all I'm hating. I'm hating the entire way. So call me Silky.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the college football playoff committee got the 4 best teams in?
No.
So who in your opinion?
Georgia 120. Okay. All right. Florida State was undefeated. Okay. So let me just here I'll start. Okay. Let's break this into 2 halves. Russell, do you think the 4 best teams got in? No. If you're gonna take the 4 best teams, get the fucking team that won 29 straight fucking games and lost one to a team they beat. But
you don't get credit for past seasons.
Okay, you don't get credit for past seasons, but I think you should get credit for the fact that you've dog walked everybody. No one's been able to beat you, and the team that beat you won to a team that's in the playoff, right? I mean, lost to a team that's in the playoff right now. Texas beat you. Like that's the only drawback I have from them that drives me fucking nuts. Sterling, so that's for the Georgia part. Just because Georgia is a dominant force, their players were hurt. If Brock Bowers is not out there playing on fucking one leg, they're going to win that game. The best fucking player. Yeah, you get ready because Chris gonna get on your ass. Because Chris gonna get it. And I'm not gonna lie, they're hoping for a Texas Michigan because I know that's what he wants. He already beat Bama. Like a lot of Texas fans may say, "No, we want Bama again." No, that guy right there, he holds grudges, and so he's looking at you and your way, and he's saying, "Yeah, man. Sterling, I want to play Big Blue like we did in 2003, and I want the same outcome as Sterling. I can't have that. We can get in Texas tomorrow. This is the worst thing for me."
So let's start with Alabama here. So
that's bullshit.
Let's start with the two matchups. Well, let's start with Washington and Texas. Washington will come into this game as a favorite, as they should be. I feel like Washington offensively, I mean, I don't know, you're gonna have a hard time stopping Michael Penix and these wide receivers. Like they're good, right?
Yeah.
But Washington doesn't have a good defense. Texas on the other side, all the speed, Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy. They got receivers. They got 2 of the best defensive tackles in the country. Like they're more well balanced, right?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I want and you guys out there in the chat, I want you guys to ask me. Just let me know if I'm crazy. Is Oregon not Texas West? And this is where I get the matchup from. Texas could very well win this game.
They totally are. They totally are.
Favorites. And the reason why I say that is because styles make fights. I'm still torn whether or not I believe Texas can win because I'm not going to lie to you, Sterling. I am a Texan and we play football better than everybody else. Fuck the world and what y'all think. And so like that still rings in my head, even though I hate the team. There are kids from Texas that play football. So
here's my pause.
That's still right. But I will say this though. The whole season I have said that this Romaduzzi, Polk, and Michael Penix connection has been unstoppable because that's 3 NFL players.
McMillan, you gotta throw him in there too.
No, McMillan's good too, but Polk, Rome Odunze, and Michael Penix Jr. are going to be on NFL rosters playing.
Absolutely,
and starting for somebody.
No question,
making a difference, and they show that. And I know Texas has issues on the back end. I want to see what Sweat can do, and then I also want to see, because Oregon didn't have too much of a hard time running the ball, and I do think Quinn Ewers is better than Bo Nix.
For sure.
I want to see what happens if Texas can get a run game going. I know that Brooks is hurt, which is going to be fair. That is a huge loss. Is it right, Brooks? Looks like the running back. Oh, I hope Texas? I got that right. Yeah, he got hurt. I think it was Brooks. Anyways, starting running back got hurt. Very, very good player. And so I think that's going to cause them some issues. But in the long run, right now, I gotta go at who I think is going to win the Heisman, and Michael Penix Jr. to win the game.
That's fair.
But I would not be surprised if Texas pulled it out. But something tells me that it's going to be a war, and at the end of the game, like everybody else that's played Washington, literally like everybody else that's played Washington, you can't guard Rome, and Michael Penix is going to find Rome, and that's going to be the difference.
So you think Texas is going to lose this game?
Right now, yes.
I'm gonna go with Texas. They're gonna win this game. I think Texas can do it. Washington ain't faced a front seven like Texas.
They haven't.
They're long, athletic, strong up the middle. Like these dudes, and they got pass rushers. Like that. That's the thing, man. I think. Look, here's the deal. They're aggressive on defense. They're aggressive.
Very.
They're gonna blitz, right? And as good as Washington is, I think Michael Penix, I think if you get him off his spot, make him scramble outside the pocket, I think that's where you're going to find success for Texas. Getting him off his spot, getting him off his first read. I think Texas can win this game if Texas doesn't Texas. And I say that, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but Texas is a team that traditionally just doesn't bring it in the critical moments. You know what I'm saying? Like they just piss down their leg.
Sounds like a pro team out here, man. Sounds like a pro team out here. Swear to God.
You feel me? Like
all of the lights. But no, when I make that pick and they don't play for a while, so I have a time before we'll have another episode before we make our picks. Won't we? It's not. Yeah. We'll have another episode before we make our picks. It's not till yeah. So and Boogie might be back. Shout out to Boogie. I just think when I make that pick, it's purely based on the fact that I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to win the Heisman, and I think that he is going to have a CJ Stroud type versus Georgia type showing. Now, it still could be the same outcome. They can still lose. But I do think it's one of those things that until I see it not work, and this has nothing to do to Texas in this sense, I'm really looking at myself like, and I asked myself, Russ, are you hating? Russ, are you hating because you hate that team? Are you hating?
Yeah,
and I was like, but I look back and I said, no, I don't think that I'm hating in this situation because I really don't think there's anybody in the nation, including you guys, if they pull this off. No. Wait, listen. This is because there's layers to this. Because if Washington pulls this off, I'm not saying they will. I'm saying this is how I will pick. If Washington pulls this off, I'm going to pick them to beat the next team. Because Washington is going to have shown me that no matter who they play, you cannot beat Rome and Michael Penix Jr.
Because I'm gonna tell you how it's going.
But go ahead.
So first of all, Michigan beating Alabama, that's going to be tough to do for Michigan. If you ask me who wins that game today, I tell you Alabama. I think Alabama wins that game. Michigan hasn't seen a running quarterback like Jalen Milroe. And, I've talked shit about Milroe all season. I still think he can't throw.
He's grown, though. He's grown.
He's a grown man. Not only is he fast.
Can I tell the people, though, the first time listeners don't listen that much, Sterling looks at every college player through a draft lens. And he's not going to change. If you'd like positive college feedback just from college, that's me. I'll give you what you want. But my guy over here, he's not. He's going to look at everything from a draft lens and if you're draftable. So if you're not draftable, and those traits do come up in college losses. So that's why you can't hate on it. So I just want to let people know because I know that people be like, damn, nigga Sterling be hating on nigga. No, he probably likes Jalen Milroe, the kid. But motherfucker, you ain't gonna be able to throw like that in the NFL. And Sterling knows this.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I can't change. That's just how I look at the
game. Don't change.
No, it makes when we talk about this stuff perfect, right? Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is Michigan runs an NFL type of defense. If you look at Michigan Wolverines and you look at the Baltimore Ravens, where they get their defensive coaches from, they're eerily similar. And he's gonna see looks that he hasn't seen. And if he is out there trying to push the ball down the field, he's going to run into problems. Michigan, not only do they have great linebackers, this defense is loaded. They got it everywhere. Now, offensively, it's a different story. I think J.J. McCarthy is a first-round quarterback, but They don't have the receivers.
Their
receivers are. They're gonna have to open it up.
But here's what I think, though. I think that JJ McCarthy is better than we've been let on to see. Not believe, but to see. Something about that kid tells me that he's playing in an offense which he accepts that he's been asked not to do too much because they believe they can get it done and that's Jim Harbaugh. I mean,
I had a thought.
What's that?
Let's go back to Michigan and the CFP last year.
Okay.
They straight up opened up the playbook against TCU. And when and this is what I'm gonna tell you, not because I'm a homer. Michigan purposely hasn't opened up the playbook this year
at all. At all.
It's very vanilla. We're just gonna run the ball down your throat because you can't stop us.
And that's scary.
But they got two tight ends. They got two tight ends that are fucking good.
Cornelius
they got one wide receiver.
A monster.
Man, he ain't shit.
Man, all right. Man, Cornelius
he okay.
Johnson,
Roman Wilson's the one.
No. Okay. So yes, but Cornelius Johnson is that big play waiting to happen.
He can be when his head is on straight.
And it will be. It will. Believe me, all those players said. But I think we'll know where this game is going to go because in the first time in the last, it may be the first time in the last 20 years, there's going to be an even offensive and defensive line. If Michigan can run the ball, they could win the game.
It's over. And the crazy thing about this game is it's in the Rose Bowl. Do you know how beautiful that is? Like if you're a college football fan, to see Michigan and Alabama in the Rose Bowl, like that right there is just special.
I think
it reminds me of Michigan, Texas in the Rose Bowl. What a game that was. Michigan didn't win that game. Texas did.
I know.
But I'm telling you, Michigan's got a shot in this game.
Let's not talk about 2003.
Yeah.
Marcus Spears, LSU. God damn. Kejuan Jones, you got to come up with that, man. That's 21-14, man. We win that, man.
If Michigan goes to the college football playoff and they beat Bama, Michigan can beat Washington or Texas.
Can I say this? I think, and I think the logos, especially Bama's logo, and I think Texas proved that earlier this year. This is big parity, Tom, in college football. Bama has a very good team, but the reason why they were dominant in latter years was because their offensive line, defensive line was just so far superior. That's not the case anymore. And so I think this year, all four teams can beat all four teams.
Sure.
We're just mad and I think that's also why we're mad at the semantics of why Florida State didn't get in and why everybody's so pissed off because in a year of all parity, a team could win with their backup quarterback. And to all those people saying they have their backup, Cardell Jones, motherfucker, Cardell Jones. And I don't care.
Hey, no, nigga. It's 12 gauge to you, my nigga. 12 gauge.
Okay. 12 gauge, nigga. 12 gauge. And I don't care if he won his Big Ten title, 59, whatever. A win's a win, a loss, because at the end of the day, you ain't looking for score differential when you're looking at that stat sheet. You're just looking for the dub or the L, and you don't care how you got it. So I just think that's completely bullshit how that got pulled off and how people are trying to make excuses for it. But we are where we are. And I just think that Michigan, again, we'll find out very, very quickly if Michigan has what it takes, because if they can't run the ball, it's going to be a shit show. I do think they'll be able to run the ball. I do think it'll be a good game. I really think it's going to be kind of hard for me, but I think that Michigan is going to be able to pull it off. And for that, Michigan fans, I'm sorry. That's probably the kiss of death that you don't want. But something tells me that Alabama and that and yes, I hate them and all that, blah, 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 but I've actually watched Michigan this year. And I've watched Alabama have to pull shit out their ass. And I've watched Michigan be that team that didn't have to pull anything out their ass. And every year when you watch football teams, if I were to remove the logo from a team and just put them out there, Michigan is the more Alabama type team. and we don't know that. It's the more Alabama type team as far as record wise, because they went out there, ran the ball on everybody, played vanilla offense, and beat everybody, and beat Ohio State, who a lot of people thought was going to beat them because they had Marvin Harrison Jr. And they couldn't beat them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the scariest teams to me in any sport are teams that can beat you without doing anything special. They could just beat you straight up, doing what they're doing. And Michigan's been beating people like that the entire year. So I do think that while the world is going to say, look at that A and Alabama and Roll Tide and Link and whatever other bullshit you motherfuckers be saying down there, in the dirty part of America. They hate you, they can. Fuck you too. Fuck you too. Roll Tide, the water's dirty. Y'all right by Mississippi, so I know. You know what I'm saying? That water dirty. You know what I'm saying? But nah, and Texas beat you. Yeah, you lost. Right. But yeah. But so,
wrapping up here because we gotta go. I gotta go.
Yeah, I know you got. Yeah, you gotta rock.
I want your thoughts on the transfer portal real quick. Oklahoma. Tell me what's going on with Oklahoma.
Okay, can I say something about Florida State real quick?
Yeah, I got like 2 minutes left.
But I don't know if I already said this. But first off, for Florida State, they fucked Florida State. The worst thing about it, and I'll say it real quick, is you ruin what is the essence of sports. The sports you play to win the game. They won all their games. They don't get to go to the playoff. I don't want to hear anything else. Every other argument besides you win all your games and you get to go is fucking stupid. I don't care who you take out. And it should be Alabama, but you can take out anybody. Someone should be out in Florida State, should be in, because you win all your shit. You get to lose. I don't care if you lose by 45. You won all your games to get there. The crowd hate and the background shouldn't matter. We won our games. Tell Clemson not to miss a 29-yard fucking field goal. Take care of business. And on the other hand of that, to the people that want to see Alabama and Georgia and all the other teams in there, shit, take care of motherfucking business. On the Oklahoma side, you know what? I'm not gonna take the high road. We've taken the high road on Twitter and X, or as I call it, Witter. I spell it with just XWITTER, with the X in front. Fuck off. Leave. I'm with Stutzman. You don't want to be at Oklahoma. We don't want you there either. It's Boomer Sooner. So Dylan Gabriel, bye, because you can't throw when we really need it. Don't fucking matter. I don't really give a fuck. You had a bunch of good stats, but you had a bunch of good stats because it was drawn up by Jeff Lebby, the guy that fucked us at Oklahoma State, along with the referees, and fucked us again in Kansas. And he's gone to Oklahoma. He's gone to Mississippi State. So good riddance to him. The only one that I'm going to say I miss is going to be Tyree Washington. And that's the running back. I may have mispronounced his first name, but I'll miss him. But we got Sawchuk, who's going to come in bringing the load. And the fact that they gave us Arizona and the motherfucking Alamo Bowl is a fucking disgrace.
Yeah, that's trash.
Penn State, you ain't shit.
Who's going to quarterback next year for
little do people. Okay, so if you're from the South or you're from this area of Texas and you follow, the Oklahoma's in good hands. His name's Jackson Arnold. He's a 5-star recruit. He went to Denton Ryan, I believe. But anyways, 5-star Texas high school quarterback, one state. He played on the same team as Pat Bowen, who was another highly recruited safety that was going to go to Notre Dame, going to go to Oregon, but ended up switching to Oklahoma. And if you watch in the playoff, there's going to be a linebacker whose last name I believe is Hill. Sorry, Mr. Hill, I don't remember your first name, but he is a G-O-T, damn beast. And he was going to be everywhere, and he also went to the same high school. So if those who don't know, Oklahoma's fine. Oklahoma's fine. This kid that's going to be coming to play quarterback is going to be a first-round draft pick for sure. For sure.
All right, so
he's a beast. All
right, so we're wrapping up the show right now. I have another podcast I have to do for my network, but next week we're going to talk more CFP. We're going to get into the transfer portal. Ohio State's having a hard time. A lot of kids are leaving there. There's Dion and what's going on there. We got a lot of college football talk coming on. We'll talk next week. We'll talk Bills Cowboys. We're going to talk we're going to focus more on the NFL next week in college football. And then, in the next few weeks, we'll kind of talk about some college basketball because it's going to start getting good.
And Indiana got a squad.
Indiana's good. Indiana's very good.
Are you read on these
teams? That's your team. So, we say all of that to say, man, it's been real. The Hesi Podcast, episode number 4. We'll be back next week with a number episode. Go ahead real quick.
I got one thing to close it out. Hey, Manchester, England, London, wherever you call it, y'all motherfuckers is out of bounds. Motherfucking gravy meat wrestling. It's fucking disgusting. God bless America and nobody else.
With that being said, it's your boy Sterls over here, my guy Sports Plug Rush. You can find us at our socials down there on the bottom. This is the Hesi Podcast, and we up out of here. Peace.
तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी याद